I'm going to let you know right now, there is no shot you're going to accomplish your goal. Develop a system, stay consistent with that system, and accomplish your goal. But the average person has no system in place, and that is why the average person will not accomplish their goals for 2026. What is going on YouTube, and welcome back to another N.Y.A.D podcast, also known as Not Your Average Dad podcast. I am your host, Bryce Dettorre, and this is the first Monday of 2026. So I'm excited. It's a new year, new me, a lot of that is going around. So today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about 3 ways to ensure that you hit your goals this year. Because like I said, it is a new year. A lot of people are saying new year, new me, all that stuff. But we all know, and we all been there, including myself, where you set a goal, you're super fired up the first week of January, and then as the months progress, before you know it, the years come to an end, you look back on the goals that you've written, and you realize I have not accomplished any of them. We've all been there. Every year starts the same way. New goals, new motivation, new promises. But then, like I said, you fast forward a few months, and it's most people are right back where they started. You hear about it all the time. You see the memes of like everybody's afraid to go to the gym in January because it's going to be packed. And then the second week of January, no one's there again, and it's right back to the normal people that are in the gym every single day. So it's the average person will fall off from their goals. And it's not because they're lazy, because I genuinely think that the average person does get fired up about their goals, and the reason they don't accomplish their goals, it's not because they're lazy. It's because they don't have any systems in place that actually work in helping them accomplish their goals. So in today's video, I'm going to give you 3 simple but powerful ways to make sure that you hit your goals for 2026. So the first thing you got to do when it comes to accomplishing your goals, number 1, is you got to get clear or you're going to get stuck. See, the average person will say things like, I want to lose weight, I want to do better, I want to get in shape, I want to make more money, I want more out of life. All of these are very vague. They are not clear. There is no clarity. And that's not a goal at the end of the day, that's simply just a wish. Clarity creates commitment. And like I said before, the average, you can't hit a target that you can't see. See, the average person will aim at nothing and they'll hit it every single time. And I'll even argue that the average person will aim at something that is very vague, like I want to get in shape, I want to make more money, I want to get a better job, and they'll hit that every single time. They'll get a job that is not exactly what they want. They'll lose some weight, but it's not the weight that they wanted to lose because there's no clear cut, I want to weigh this amount by this day. That is clarity. So here's how you fix it. Instead of vague goals, like I said, you want to lose weight, you want to get in shape, you got to be very specific. What exactly do you want to lose? Or what exactly do you want? I want to weigh 210 pounds with 10% body fat. That is very specific. I want to gain 10 pounds of muscle within the next 60 days. That is very specific. I want to make $10,000 a month by the end of the year. Very specific. It's not I want to make more money, I want to lose weight, I want to gain strength. Those are all vague. You have to be clear on what exactly you want. And then at the end of the day, why does it matter? Why exactly do you want to weigh 210 pounds with 10% body fat? Well, I want to weigh that because when my son gets here in 20 weeks, I want to have a certain standard set. Why do you want to make $10,000 a month? Well, because if I'm able to make $10,000 a month, then my wife or my spouse does not have to go to work, or it allows my kids to go and join the clubs or the activities that they want to do. It allows me to have financial freedom so that I don't have to stress. Whatever it may be, you have to have a clear why. Not just because, and again, you can't have just a vague why of like, oh, it'll make me happy. Oh, it will eliminate stress. Well, what exactly does it look like when you have no stress? Well, I wake up in the morning, my wife's able to stay at home because she doesn't have to work. I go to work and I love what I do. I'm helping people, whatever it may be. You have to be very specific and very clear on what you want. And the reason why is because then your subconscious will start looking at ways for you to accomplish that goal. We have all been there before when we say, oh, I want to get a brand new white Toyota Tundra. And then all of a sudden you start seeing white Toyota Tundras everywhere. Now, did everybody all of a sudden in the entire world have your same goal and they all go out and buy white Toyota Tundras? No, absolutely not. But your subconscious mind is now looking on high alert of ways for you to accomplish that goal. It works the same thing when it comes to losing weight, when it comes to making more money, when it comes to having a better relationship, when it comes to increasing your faith, all of those. You gotta be clear. At the end of the day, write it down. Read it daily. I would say at least 2 times a day. 3 times would be even better. Right when you wake up, write it on your lunch, and then right before you go to bed at night. Have it on your lock screen, have it in a book, a journal, any way that you can get it easy at. Because clarity turns intention into direction. Second thing you got to do is you got to build systems, not just motivation. See, everybody's motivated and fired up on January 1st of, I want to lose weight, so I'm going to start going to the gym. So they go to the gym, but there's no system in place. And when I say system, it's like, do you know exactly what you're going to be working out? Do you know exactly what your macros are going to be for the week? Do you know exactly what splits you're going to be doing? Do you know what days off you're going to have? Do you know what and that is a lot to take in, but there's a system in place. Successful people, they don't go off of motivation. They build systems. That's why in my school community, anytime someone says they have a goal, I'm like, what does your routine look like? What does your system look like in order to accomplish that goal that you want? And the reason why is because motivation at the end of the day will fade. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I will watch a motivational video, I'll get all fired up, I'll go out in the gym, and within 10 minutes, I'm like, I don't want to be here. That is motivation, it fades. But systems, they don't rely on feelings, but they do create consistency. And consistency will lead to you accomplishing your goal. Motivation will not. So for instance, if your goal is fitness, your system might be your training days are scheduled. Again, very clear. I work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That is a system. No matter what, I'm sticking to working out those 3 days. Your meals are planned. I know exactly that I'm going to consume 200 grams of protein a day, 200 grams of carbs a day, and then 60 grams of fat a day. That is a system. And I would even go even more specific on what is your system for prepping those meals. Don't just go off of what you feel like. Have a system that, hey, for instance, my current system is I prep on Sundays for 3 days, and then I prep on Wednesday for the other 3 days. And then Sundays are technically my free refeed days. So Sundays I don't need anything prepped. I'll wake up and I'll kind of go with the flow, eat what I want. That's how my system works. But on Sunday, I'm also prepping my meals for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then when I get home from work on Wednesday, I will prep my meals for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That is my system. That is what works for me. If I went off of motivation, I'm gonna prep when I'm motivated. I would never prep. If I went off of I'm gonna work out on the days that I'm motivated, I might work out 2 days a week. But I have a system. My only days off, Monday, Friday. I work out the rest of the week. That is my system. And like I said, that's what we're always talking about in the school communities. Anytime someone in my community asks, you know, hey, I want to do this, I'm like, okay, what is your system? Let's develop a system to accomplish that goal. It's accountability built in at the end of the day. Like, you know that your days, this is what you're going to work out, this is the days you're going to prep. You automatically have accountability built in. If you want to add even another level of accountability, tell someone. Tell your spouse, hey, on Sundays and Wednesdays, I'm prepping. So I'll clean up the kitchen once I'm done, but those are the days I'm prepping. My days off, if you want to have some extra time as family, are going to be Monday and Friday, because those are my rest days. But the rest of the week, those are the days I'm working out. That's accountability. If your goal, for instance, is personal growth, like you want to work on whether your leadership skills, your communication skills, your relationship skills, or maybe you're trying to develop something that you have to read more about. What's your system for daily reading? People always say, like, how do you find time to read? I don't find time to read. I have a system of when I read. Every single morning I wake up, and as I'm doing my steps and drinking my pre-workout, getting ready to go work out, I am reading 30 minutes. I'm doing my daily devotional, I'm doing my Bible reading, and then I'm doing some form of personal development reading for about 15 minutes. So it's daily devotional, then about the Bible for about 15 minutes, and then read for 15 minutes. And then I jump into my workout. That is my system. I don't think of like, you know what, I think today's a good day, I'm going to go out and read. No, there's a system in place. That is why I'm able to read so much. Also, your personal goal might be like morning reflection. Like, I want to start journaling. Okay, put a system in place. Are you going to journal every night before you go to bed? Or are you going to journal first thing in the morning when you wake up? These are systems. And then weekly self-check-ins on every Sunday. Like I said, before I go to bed on Sunday night, I'm pretty much writing out my week in my planner of what my goals are for that week, but then also reflecting on my previous week of like, did I hit my goals? Did I get all my tasks done? If I didn't, I got to move those tasks to this week. There's a system in place. I'm not just going with the flow. Because here's the truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals, but you fall to the level of your system. So if you have no system in place, I'm going to let you know right now, there is no shot you're going to accomplish your goal. Develop a system, stay consistent with that system, and accomplish your goal. But the average person has no system in place, and that is why the average person will not accomplish their goals for 2026. And then number 3, you just got to become the person that does not quit. Doesn't matter. I am working on that with my daughter right now. I am basically telling her, you learn. There is no such thing as failure. You do something wrong and you make a mistake, I guess you could say. You learn how not to do that again. That is all it is. You have to switch your identity as someone you do not quit, because all you do is you learn when you make a mistake, or you learn. Right now I'm trying to lose 20 pounds, right? 20 pounds in 20 weeks by the time my son gets here. This past week, I lost no weight. I actually gained weight. Now my body fat did go down. However, I learned, right? It's not like I'm just, oh, done. I'm not going to do this, meal plan anymore. I'm done. I'm just going to be gain fat. I'm going to have the dad bod. No, like you don't just quit. I like to use the analogy of like when you are going somewhere that you don't know how to get there. You type it into your phone. You type it into your GPS and it maps out a location or a route, right? Say it's 2 hours away. As you're driving through that route or to that location, you will get notifications. Accident ahead. You're still on the fastest route. Or accident ahead. Do you want to reroute? It's not like Siri comes on and says accident ahead. Shock this whole trip. Do not go. Like say you're trying to go to Disneyland for the first time. It doesn't repeat. Like Disneyland just doesn't exist. You will never get there. Turn around and go home. No. It reroutes you in order to get to your destination, get to your goal. And sometimes, unfortunately, it may say it's going to take an hour and a half. But then as you're driving, there's an accident or traffic, and now it turns into 2.5 hours. But Siri will never tell you, just go home, it's taking you too long. No, it reroutes you, and that's how you got to develop that mindset. It doesn't matter how long it takes, doesn't matter which way I take, I'm going to get to my destination. Because at the end of the day, when quitting is no longer an option, everything starts to change. I like to ask myself as I'm feeling that way, like, hey, what would the disciplined version of myself do, right? What would the best version of myself do in this situation? Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. What would the best version of myself do? Because and I've said this before on my channel, every small win builds trust with yourself. And self-trust changes everything, because at the end of the day, that is when you get to that point that when you say you're gonna do something, there is no negotiating that goes on in your head. There's no voice of average that comes in your head and says, I don't know if you can do that, or I don't know, we've never done that before. That voice is just silent, it's obsolete, because you built so much trust in yourself that when you say you're gonna do something, that's it. It's done. But in order to develop that voice, or eliminate, I guess, that voice in this sense, you have to build trust. And the only way you build trust is by being clear on your goals, developing a system, and then developing a mindset of you will not quit no matter what, or how long it takes you to get there. You just do not quit. So if you want this year to be different than the last year, and if you don't want to be like the average person, then you got to move differently than the average person. You got to get clear, be clear, and have clarity with your goals. You got to develop systems in place, put systems in place, and then become someone who doesn't quit. Those are all three things that the average person will not do. You do not need perfection, but you need consistency. And if you commit to these three things, I promise you, it will not just be another year, and you will not just be the average person that will quit their goals in 2 weeks. It'll be the year that everything changes for you. So if you're ready to stop doing this alone, and you want to join a community of like-minded husbands, fathers, men in their own journey in life, I literally built a school community exactly like this. N.Y.A.D community, not your average dad community. If you're not a dad and you're just a man married, then you're welcome to join. But it's for men who want to show up for themselves, for their spouse, for their kids, for the family. And if you're interested, the link is below. If you like this video, make sure you like it, make sure you share with someone, and then comment below what 3 of your goals are for 2026 and your system you're going to put in place to ensure that you have the best year of your life. And you guys already know the motto: stay happy, stay healthy, and above all, don't be average. I'll catch you guys next Monday.